out and having a little bit of issue with my key fob, which just needs a new battery, but I need to get my pin and all that set up, so we'll deal with that in a bit. And then for right now, headed out to Perdue Stadium to do an Indian demo ride. So I'm really excited about that.
Hello and welcome. This is Deb, otherwise known as motorcyclemommom. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. And if you are returning, welcome back. And thank you for your support. As you can see, I am at Perdue Stadium, Shorebird Stadium in Salisbury, Maryland. There will be, or is, depending on when you are watching this, another video all about the vendors and the goings on at the stadium. But for now, the focus of this video is just my Indian demo ride. The first bike that I took out was the Springfield. It is a beautiful bike. I have always liked the look of Indian motorcycles, and a bit about me is that I love fringe, and they typically have a good bit of fringe. So I added quite a bit to my Sportster over the years. I really haven't added any to my Heritage Softail yet, but I did buy some things for my handlebars that day, a little bit later in the day, from one of the vendors to add to the bike because probably inspired by riding the Springfield today. So a bit of backstory. Ed and I rode out here yesterday. We met up with Rich and Edie for a bit, looked around at vendors and all. I was interested in checking out the Indians and seeing what was needed for a demo ride because I had never done one before. However, by the time we got to that, it was time to be somewhere else. And I asked a few questions about being able to video the demo ride, and I was told that I could. So I was really excited about that. I'll start with that. We knew that they opened at 9 and planned to be here a bit before then. We had the Shinedown concert Friday night, which was absolutely awesome, by the way. Both Ed and I rank that in our top 5 list of concerts that we've ever seen. Anyway, I squirrel way too often, so let's get back to the demo ride. But anyway, it was a late night because of the concert before, so we knew that being out there, earlier than 9 was really going to be pushing it. But we didn't do too bad. We made it out there just a few minutes after 9, and you can see by the parking lot that we were definitely some of the first few folks to arrive, so it was not an issue at all. We were kind of first in line, doing all of our paperwork and stuff. So if you have never had the fun of doing a demo ride, you do first register, you show your license with your motorcycle endorsement. You do need to have proper gear, of course, and once you're through all that official stuff, you get a wristband that they put on you that lets the staff know that you did indeed go through the necessary steps to take the bike out. And from there, you can ride as many bikes as you want. You may have to wait for one to come back in or whatnot. And we didn't really have a set number of bikes that we were going to ride, but we ended up both doing 2 bikes. So this is just about the first one, the Springfield. But anyway, back to the wristband. So they also use that to scan and then scan the bike to track who has what bike out for the demo rides. The staff asked Ed and I both what we currently ride and then explained what we needed to know about the Indians that was different from the bikes that we were accustomed to. I was really impressed by that because the gentleman that went through that with us knew the bikes that we had well enough that he knew what those differences were, so he could really focus on the features of the Indian and then give us that extra that we needed to know where we were doing things a little bit different, just so that it made that getting comfortable with the bike just a little bit faster, and I really appreciate it. The staff, really all of them, were simply awesome and really helpful. It was a great experience overall. So they had set up an 11-mile self-guided route that included a bit of 2-lane each way, like 2 lanes each direction highway, and then back roads with a few nice curves. You're going to see, well, you're seeing now, but anyway. And it really was the perfect mix to get into it a little bit, but then also have the back roads and a little bit of curves, so you just got to enjoy that. We're not going to mention too much, but I did kind of miss the first turn off of the highway and we had to loop around, but I edited that out, so there's no proof on this video that I did that except for me telling you, which again, I edited out. It's not there, you don't see it. So it didn't happen, right? Anyway, So I would love to know in the comments if you ride an Indian motorcycle, or if you've ever done a demo ride of an Indian or any other motorcycle at bike weeks, rallies, or otherwise. If so, please leave me a comment, let me know. Also, if you haven't, would you? Would you be willing to do that? I don't know that I would have been willing to do that before this year. Actually, I've thought about it before, but I think I always made some excuse. But knowing that I could video it, it really made me want to do this all that more. So again, I selected the Springfield first because it seemed to be most like my Heritage Softail, kind of a cross between the Softail and a Road King maybe in some ways. And I had never done a demo ride before, as I had mentioned. I had always also declined, like when any friend offered to let me ride their bikes, because like I'm not going to mess up a friend's bike. I just couldn't do that, right? But always appreciated the offer, just I never took anybody up on it. I like my bikes, I'm comfortable on my bikes, and I didn't really want to venture away from that until now. I knew that Ed was interested in checking out Indian motorcycles, and I was too. And I was even more excited again to learn that I'd be able to video and share with you all. So lots of reasons to do this. So a little bit about the Springfield. It has the Thunderstroke engine, which I don't really know anything about. I have owned Harleys and a Honda, so there's a lot that I can learn about Indian motorcycles. But one thing that I liked that I thought was interesting, it has 3 different ride modes: Tour, Standard, and Sport. I'm not going to list all the features. You can easily find them on Indian's website. Also, I'm not doing an Indian commercial here, just telling you what my experiences were. But I will mention that it has a 5.5 gallon fuel tank, which I really like because I'm always the first one needing to stop for fuel on my Softail. Mine is not 5.5 gallons. So yeah, that's always an issue. Also, it is 797 pounds as shipped, as the sticker says. And just out of curiosity, I thought you might want to know, the US MSRP was listed on the bike as $22,499. Just again, if you're curious. So I'll share some of my observations about the bike. First, I really liked it. I enjoyed riding it, and once I got a couple miles on it and started to feel comfortable, I really enjoyed it. It has turn signals on each side instead of just one side controls like my bike does. So that took me a minute to get used to, but I adjusted quickly. The windshield hits at about the same height as the windshield does on my bike, and I'm 5'5" and a half. I have to add that and a half in. So giving you an idea of my height. One difference, which I would imagine I could easily adjust, is that when I was going in and out of what I call that tree canopy and going from really bright morning sunlight to kind of shady, I've had my visor down, which is tinted, and then I had the windshield that was tinted, and the double tint, that line where it kind of hit in my line of sight, just was a little bit too much. So I ended up putting up my visor, and once I did, I was absolutely fine. So if you look closely in the video, you'll see that I do put the visor up for just a bit. But again, once I did that, I was absolutely fine seeing. Another difference that I noticed is foot controls are a bit closer into the bike than what they are on my bike. That's not a positive or a negative for me. I just had to adjust, and again, I did quickly. So it was kind of a non-issue. But just if you've never, if you're very comfortable with your bike and you haven't ridden others, there's just little things that you notice with that. And not that I wouldn't get very comfortable with it very quickly if that was my bike, I certainly would, but just what I noticed is those differences. So if the opportunity presented itself for another demo ride of this bike, I would certainly go again with enthusiasm, like no hesitation at all. I would be like, yes, I'm doing that right now. Let's go. Ed took out the Chieftain Limited on his first demo ride. He also liked the ride and enjoyed the bike. That's his experience for him to share. So I will just say overall, it was a really great experience for him too. And we both enjoyed the first, bikes that we took out. So check out again, depending on when you're seeing this, the second video may already be out there, or if you're not seeing it out there, make sure you do subscribe so that you'll get notice when that video is released, which shouldn't be but a day or two from now. Also, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do take a moment and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It's just a click of a button, and it really does make a difference in the growth of the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. But until the next time, or until the next video, 1, thank you for watching this one, and 2, keep it shiny side up and take care. Thanks again.